You know, I'm still thinking about that jobs report on Friday, and the part that is in my mind, 625,000 Americans left the labor force. They just left, right? I mean, it's a sobering number, and yet economists insist that we need massive immigration, even if it means looking the other way for illegal immigration. That's what they say it works. Like the more people that come, the more jobs are created. I never understood it. The good thing is my next guest has some strong thoughts on this because, let's face it, he's one of the best numbers crunchers out there. I'm going to bring in the economist Peter St Onge with us now. Peter, you know, first, how do we explain or understand this recent plunge in labor participation?
Yeah, that's been a mystery. It had been going up early in Trump as people started coming back into the labor market. Going down again is a concern. You know, one of the biggest numbers to watch there, I think, is the difference between foreign-born workers and native-born workers. So foreign-born had been absolutely soaring under Biden. Native-born had been stuck in the doldrums. I think it was flat during the entire 4 years. So we'd been hoping for some rebound in that. And, you know, maybe it's a fluke, this last number here, but hopefully we get that turned around.
One of my big problems is that we pay people a lot of money not to work. You know, there's a million programs out there that folks just don't know about. And if there's a certain jobs, you know, you have to take that you don't have to work. I know that part of the big, beautiful bill is some work requirements in there, but should we look across the board at more of this stuff?
Yeah, so one of my sort of pet peeves on the open border thing is that the claim is that we need to import millions of migrants for labor shortages. Thing is, we can kind of do a thought experiment. So let's say that we annex Canada. Canada's got 20 million workers. Does that mean we have 20 million extra workers laying around? No, because Canadians are busy doing stuff for other Canadians. All right, what about if we don't bring in the country, we just bring in the people? Same deal. So migrants do not net create jobs. What they do is that you get too many, like if they're illegals, you get too many low-skilled workers, you get not enough high-skilled workers. In other words, the migrants actually bring shortages of doctors, veterinarians, any kind of high-skilled labor across the economy. So Americans cannot get a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment. A veterinarian costs $500, but by gum, gardeners are cheap.
Right.
So when we talk about what's happening with the labor market, I think that's really the key. Mass deportation, you still have the same number of jobs in the economy. The unemployment rate, as you say, is going to have a lot more to do with how many benefits there are, whether illegals are competing those wages down to minimum wage level. But if we can get to that point, the idea that we're not going to have enough workers, we have millions of people. You know, if we go back pre-COVID, we've got several million Americans who dropped out of the labor force. Those people are able-bodied. They can work.
You know, so the Kansas City Fed put out a paper, but I think economists in general kind of think this way. They said that the surge in immigration cooled an overheated labor market. And for them, overheated labor market meant higher wages. And this is what I don't get. The economists who are against higher wages for Americans, I guess because they think it creates inflation, it's so odd. It puts them at odds with the, you know, it's a dismal science when you're rooting against Americans to get a raise.
It really is. You know, it sort of sets up this class warfare dynamic where, you know, we're all supposed to hold workers down so that capital can thrive. It's, you know, cooling off a heated job market is also known as putting food on the table. So absolutely, you know, we should be focused on raising wages. That includes raising productivity. So reforms to education. The American public school system is a mess. There's a number of things that we can do there that do not involve trying to rob Peter to pay Paul.
I got to ask you about the big news this week, what's happening in California, you know, 5-6 days of riots. I just saw a compelling piece, the decline in headquarters, where companies are headquarters. As you might know, I guess, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, they're out, fastest growing, Dallas, Austin, Nashville. I just never understood these local politicians who look the other way or even kind of stoke the flames, for, you know, no pun intended, of these riots, knowing that the economic outcome is going to be a disaster.
It's depressing. And there's literally a term for this. It's called the Curly effect, which is when Boston, you know, started sort of predating on its economy. It ends up helping the politicians who do it. If we look at Detroit, for example, there's plenty of business in Detroit Metro. It's just not in the city. The city chased it out. The problem is that the politicians who destroyed the city of Detroit They're still in office. In fact, it's better for them because when the middle class leaves, the middle class wasn't voting for them. So it's a depressing dynamic. We're seeing it, play out in real time in California. This is wonderful if you're a city in Texas or maybe Florida, but it is pretty rough for the people of California.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate system for sure. But maybe we got to find a way to train or educate our voters better. Peter, I miss you, my man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on, Charles.
See you.